Welcome to the Mean Green Show.
Every day, get down.
Welcome to the Mean Green Show.
Every day, get stronger.
Let's go. Welcome to the Mean Green Show.
Every day, get better.
Welcome to the Mean Green Show.
What up, Mean Green fam?
What's going on? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I miss everybody. Jay, I miss you, bro.
Been a minute since we got to talk on camera.
On camera. We always talk, guys. Don't sweat. We always talk. Look, man, this next 8 weeks, depending on when people listen to this and watch this is the last 8 weeks of 2022, man. And I'm really excited in the direction that we're going, not just for the podcast, but just in life.
Yeah.
And glad we can share that with you today. J Money. So we're leading up to one of my favorite holidays.
Oh.
Right? This is one of my favorite holidays. What are we talking about today for episode number 1?
Today, we're talking about preparing for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And y'all know what we're going to talk about. Food.
Got to.
Got to talk about
Got
food.
to.
I mean, we might touch on working out a little bit, but
Yeah.
food. But look, man, I'm really excited. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, this is the channel you want to subscribe to. If you're listening to us on Apple, Google, Spotify, we touch a lot of different things within fitness, but we also travel out as well. And then YouTube, subscribe to us. This series is called if you're not prepping to win, then you're prepping to lose. All right. When it comes to food, thinking about that with Thanksgiving, I think I need to back up.
Uh-oh.
Let me tell you why Thanksgiving is like my favorite.
That's a good start. I like that.
Look, I love to freaking eat. Y'all don't know this, but Jay Money brought me some dessert last Thanksgiving, and I expect it again this Thanksgiving. Bread pudding, right?
That's on my banana pudding.
Banana pudding.
That's on my list. I'm making it this year.
Hey. So look, guys, I really like to eat. For Thanksgiving, I'm that guy. See, it's tough in my household. I don't know if this is a black household thing or not, but they make plans every year. We're going to eat at 1 o'clock, and we don't eat till 5, right? But I won't eat until the Thanksgiving meal. Like, I won't eat nothing. Like, I want to just – if you think of Bart Simpson on The Simpsons, that's me on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, typically, man, I literally load my plate up. It's ridiculous the way I load my plate up. And I always do it on my story on IG. I do a before picture and an after picture.
After it's gone.
But that's it. I don't really go back for seconds that day.
Yeah.
But man, I'm piling stuff, and I don't know how I get it, but I eat it all, man. But Thanksgiving for me is so cool to like eat things that I typically don't get to eat throughout the year, and to see my family collaborate, because I don't cook any of it. They collaborate. And I buy the turkey. I do buy the turkey sometimes. Collaborate and come up with different food ideas and bring it together. We actually host it in my house. So it is one of my favorite holidays. Family and friends stop by, and we just have a good time. So for me, Thanksgiving and Christmas, this time of year, is really like top tier for me. So I think I needed to kind of address why I like Thanksgiving so much.
Cool. I'm right there with you. Being a football player, if you make playoffs, all that kind of stuff, you're actually not able to be with family. So
Sure.
That
is a good point.
Yeah, for me, I didn't really make it home every Thanksgiving. There were a couple that I did. So I have a whole lot more gratitude for Thanksgiving now that I've been home and been able to be with family and everybody off, just enjoying each other. So it's a holiday for me too. Without having to worry about, the next holiday of gifts. It's just the time that we can just be around each other. So
it's for football, right? If you make it to a bowl game, this is where you potentially miss it. And that's where you're, Yeah. So for basketball, that's when they play. So during college, I missed it every year.
I got you.
And what sucked about it, I actually, for my first 3 years, I played at Houston Baptist. And they every year went to Oklahoma to play in this classic tournament. Why in the world could they not host it that week in
Just
Houston?
be here.
Ridiculous. So I went those years. And honestly, Desi as well, my little sister, her 4 years in high school, they played in a very popular tournament in Texas. So for 4 years, Desi was never there. Then we both went out to college. So, it got to a point prior to that, that's all I knew was all my siblings. So, that was a interesting point that you brought up. So it's cool to celebrate with people that you truly love, your family and friends. And, again, Y'all get to see Chris stuff his freaking face.
Get that belly.
That dressing, get that belly back. That dressing and mashed potatoes and that turkey. And we don't do that dry turkey. No, my dad.
I'm glad we're talking about food on this episode, y'all.
Yeah. You see how my eyes is closing. I'm imagining where I'm at. So, with food specifically, I'm not gonna go backwards in 2022 towards the end of the year. I'm actually winning right now in this season when it comes to nutrition and moving my body. I would love for them to understand how you can enjoy yourself on Thanksgiving and when. Can we teach them that today?
I think so. I think so. I think you guys are going to really tap into the brain of being able to live the life you want to live while also being disciplined. Because that's the key word there, discipline.
Yeah. So there's two perspectives you're going to hear today. You're going to hear what Chris does and what Jared does, right? And you can also, maybe we give them stories of people that we've helped that found success during this time of the year. Let's go with you first, since I feel like I've been talking mostly.
Okay.
Jared, being the age that you're at now, being in the profession that you're in now, what does Thanksgiving look like for you when you wake up? What's your routine? I'm curious.
So the Thanksgiving Day. So obviously, food is everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. My mom, she likes to have Thanksgiving done by 1 o'clock.
Oh, I'm at the wrong house. All right. She's down the street.
So 1 o'clock typically things are done. And I mean, y'all were 20s once. Like, we eat.
Yeah.
Right. The thing about, I guess, your routine, where you're at, like, I can't ever say for Thanksgiving, like sometimes people get, the week off.
Yeah.
I can't ever say that I didn't work out at all that week. I can't ever say that once the food was made, I just sat down on the couch and ate all week.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the thing. Thanksgiving is a day, right?
It.
So, yeah, sometimes, when you're preparing for trips, when you're preparing for XYZ, it's kind of a day that you prepare for. Like,
Absolutely.
I know this day I'm probably going to eat some banana pudding or, something that –
me too.
something that, typically throughout the year, I'm not just, eating this, every day, every other day.
Yeah.
We don't eat dressing every day, every other day. But on Thanksgiving, we kind of indulge a little bit. So, again, it's just a day that you prepare for. Like, so for me, I'm working out regular. I'm not eating dressing on the 24th. I'm not eating banana pudding on the 24th. Like, I'm going to eat that on the 25th. Maybe a little bit on the 26th.
Yeah.
But that's it.
That's it.
So for me, it's kind of a guilt-free day in my head, knowing that, hey, this is something I'm preparing for.
Yeah.
So the same as going on a trip. You're going to Cabo, Belize, wherever you're going. Like, you guys prepare for that. So whenever you get there and you take that sip of a drink and go party with your friends and eat that lobster and whatever it is you're eating there, like, you're like, I worked for this.
Yeah.
So
you said a couple things that I want people to kind of hear and digest a little bit.
Okay.
Besides eating things that you typically won't eat on a normal basis, your day sound like it didn't change much. So you're still going to get up. You're going to be around more food and family and friends than usual. You work out on Thanksgiving?
Typically not.
Typically not. Do you work on Thanksgiving?
Typically not.
Typically not. So those two, I would say, is going to be different.
Yeah.
Because you typically do work and you typically do work out on I would say definitely a weekday, right?
Yeah.
What about sleep? Sleeping in?
No, I'm just saying. Get
You're
up.
not going to sleep in on Thanksgiving?
I mean,
Bro,
typically
if
get
he wake up at 5, if y'all see
up.
him on Instagram.
No, I ain't waking up at 5.
Oh, I was like, hold on, no,
I ain't
you-
waking up at 5. That's not happening.
So you sleep in a little
Regular,
bit.
yeah, like
Okay,
a regular day.
So this kind of sounds like it can be a slight refresher for you too.
Yeah.
It's holidays and days off from work, or depending on what your career is, it doesn't have to be so intense every single day that you wake up. This actually can be a day where he gets refreshed, at the gyms. You can confirm me or not confirm me on boot camps. We typically don't have training on Black Friday. So that'll be another refresher day potentially. So for a trainer to get 2 days off during a normal work week, that might be a good week for you, honestly, to refresh. So that's cool for them to hear that though, because I don't want people, because my story's a little bit different. I don't want people to think, oh, Jared, man, he woke up and then he ran 3 miles and then he went to the gym and then he got on the phone and no, he's a normal person.
Yeah.
Right. It's a holiday. It's a place to kind of get restored potentially. And are you a commuter on Thanksgiving? Do you drive to multiple places?
Yeah.
See, I'm different, right? I'm at the house all day, so all that takes a part of your day, a chunk of it, right? So I'm just always interested to see what people that I know that win in their fitness journey, what they actually do.
I got you.
I like that.
I got you. What about you? What's your routine? You said it's different.
It's different. So I work out every Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I work out. Typically, I used to run 2 to 3 miles, but as of late, I would say since the pandemic, I've had a workout facility in my garage, right? I don't park cars in there anymore. It's just a workout gym. So I don't think my workout regimen will change on Thanksgiving, on that Thursday, because I want to work out. It's something that I want to do. I'm not working out because I feel like I'm about to eat bad. I work out because that's what I do, and it makes me feel good. I've spoke about my back numerous amount of times. When I don't move a lot, my back gets tense. So for me to wake up and get some range of motion and movement, I feel really good with my body. So I probably would do about a 30 to 45-minute workout. I do work on Thanksgiving. I don't want to say unfortunately. Fortunately, I do.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I do is because the next day is Black Friday.
Yeah.
So typically, as a brand, we're running different promotions. So we'll do a Black Friday whatever. I'm typically posting, and that's it.
Yeah.
I think last year I was stressing. I don't know if you remember. That's when we launched the Daily Sweat software, and something wasn't working.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I was pissed off like for an hour. I was like, this thing's good. I was like, but it has to be launched at 8:00, and I don't think I got it launched until like 9:30 that night. But besides that, man, I chill. We host, so you have your family that come and eat at our house. You have your family and friends, whoever wants to come by and eat with us formally. And then typically I have a couple people that just stop by and watch football or I love spades and dominoes. But that's it. That's it. Yeah, I'm old. Y'all caught that. Huh? Y'all caught that.
Old school.
But winning for me on that day, I've never took a back seat for my results. That doesn't – what I eat on Thanksgiving and the day after and the day after that –
the day after that.
it doesn't make me fall into a funk.
Okay.
Where I don't work out or I don't eat right for the next upcoming days or weeks or months. I don't say, hey, I'm going to wait to the new year to start eating better or to work out. For me, that's just another day or two that I'm eating and processing more probably sugar than I typically would do on a normal basis. But it doesn't define me. Because going back to the name of this series of this podcast, I'm prepping to win.
Yeah.
So absolutely. I know going into this that it's one day. That one day is not going to defeat me.
Absolutely.
I know that I'm probably going to work out on Friday. Maybe not the morning, but I'm probably going to work out. I know I'm going to be active and probably go to some Best Buys and stuff like that just to see if we can run up on some deals, just kind of the thing we do.
Yeah.
And Saturdays I'm going to get it on and popping as well. So my active living won't stop at all. But I do have some plans that I want to do this year, different. We'll go into that later. But the question I want to ask you, just to see what you think for people that you train and we train, what would be the number one thing when you're talking about food consumption? Are we staying away from certain foods? Are we eating all foods? What would you tell everybody?
Everybody. I would say the biggest thing is because you're not working out, try not to carb load. That would be my biggest things. And you got to look at what carbs are: breads, rices, all of that kind of stuff.
Everything you're gonna eat.
Yeah, basically. Just be aware of that because it will slow you down. So that's one of the main things. What we say?
What part?
After you eat, us,
you want to know what I do after I eat?
What we call them? people of color. Oh, I got that itis. You
Oh, that
start wanting
itis,
to
yeah.
unbutton your pants and pull your belly out.
The football game is now watching you.
That happens. That happens if you carb load. If you eat too much, your body, it kind of starts feeling like sluggish, right? Like, whew, let me take a nap. So you want to try to avoid that as much as you can. And that is through avoiding all of those carbs. Understand the sugars of the sweets you might eat. I don't know what y'all like. The pies, I love sweet potato pie. I love
Cheesecake
banana pudding.
Banana pudding.
Cheesecake. Man, I was in Nebraska for a while, and I actually discovered.
What?
I didn't like it, but it's like a rumpleberry, something like that. Hopefully, y'all know what I'm talking about.
What is he talking about?
But some kind of pie. If you know what I'm talking about,
comment
comment
down
below.
below.
But yeah, man, there's desserts everywhere. Some people like cherry pie, whatever. But yeah, understand that the more sugar you put into your body, the more your body has to process, kind of like Chris said. So, again, you don't want to take steps back. We'll give you our tips kind of at the end to avoid some of that stuff, but that's what I would say avoid. What about you?
I think it's going to kind of go into our tips towards the end. Jared and I gave you guys what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Right? Personally, where I'm at in my fitness journey, I feel really good. And I've really been challenging myself this last month. Notice I said the last month. So Thanksgiving's the third, fourth week.
Mm-hmm.
In November, I started a journey early October. So I've been on a certain regimen going into Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I'm very confident where I'm at and where I'm going. But the tips that I was talking about that we'll talk about later, you got to figure out what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
If you are trying to lose 60 pounds and right now you're at the halfway mark and you have a lot of momentum, the things that you do on Thanksgiving needs to be a little bit different from mine and Jared's, right? And then the other thing, if you're doing a bodybuilding competition and your macros will distinguish you from the way you need to look on stage, that's a different ball game. You can't do what Jared and I are doing.
Yeah.
So I think you have to realize what you're doing in your fitness journey and then prep for Thanksgiving. But again, we'll go over some tips on that.
Absolutely.
So that's what I would tell everybody.
I got you. So Chris, I have a problem sometimes.
Uh-oh.
I don't just drink soda.
I'm glad you brought this up. It needs to be talked about. Go for it.
Okay. I'm gonna ask your opinion. I'm gonna ask you to answer for me, for them.
Okay.
All right. So again, y'all, I don't. And soda's a big thing for Thanksgiving as well. So this is why this topic's being brought up. I don't drink soda, and my significant other at the time can tell you. If it's in the house though,
it goes down.
I'm like, dang. For some reason, it's just like
it's sitting there.
Dang.
You don't want to waste it,
but I will.
Yeah.
So again, I don't drink it. I don't crave it. If soda was not non-existent on this planet, cool, wouldn't bother me.
Right.
But like, I open the refrigerator and I reach for something other than water.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's nothing there, but then there's that Sprite right there.
And it's cold. And it's shining. It's green.
So, anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. Tips on how people fight that urge.
And
discipline.
So when you talk discipline and fighting the urge, you're saying you don't want to drink soda, right?
No, right. Correct.
I think you have to really rely on the amount of water intake that you're putting in on a daily basis. That doesn't need to change, right? So say you're saying, hey, I want to have a good time and eat what I want to eat, but man, I really don't want to drink 8 Cokes that day.
Yeah.
If you weighed 160 pounds, still stick to that 80 ounces of water that you're going to drink. So typically, it's like going shopping on an empty stomach. You go to H-E-B and you're hungry, everything in the aisle looks very attractive and you start buying stuff, right?
Yep.
Same thing with your water intake. When you're thirsty, it's a thirst trap, right? You go into the refrigerator, like he said, if you're thirsty and you look, it's like, oh, crap, that Coke or Sprite or Dr. Pepper looks delicious or it tastes delicious. So you'll grab that. So I would say, number one, water intake. Don't stop it. Drink plenty of water. I've heard Tony Robbins, a lot of people say the first thing that should touch your tongue is actually water. So I wouldn't change water. I mean, I would encourage to not change your water intake. Number two, when it comes to discipline, typically for me, I think of what happens if I'm not disciplined, right? I like to use examples to sometimes gut blow
Yeah.
to get people's attention. What happens if you dealing with diabetes 1 or 2 and you drinking Coke?
Yeah.
What's the reaction, right?
Yeah.
So like that's a hard hit on the hand. If you're fighting a chronic disease, no, you just gotta be disciplined at that point. Like don't drink Coke because it's Thanksgiving and it's gonna, you know, do something that it does not need to do to your body. So those are my 2 things: water intake, and then you do have to just have some discipline, even though it's Thanksgiving, even though everybody else may be drinking it. The last thing I would say is, I don't know if you've been to the crib and seen me drink these lately. It's like,
Ghost.
huh?
Ghost.
No, not the Ghost. This is like a new water that Tina got from HEB. Is a dang. I almost want to text her. It's just like a crap. What's the name of that water that everybody drink? What is it called? The popular one.
Topeka.
Yeah. So it's like a Topo Chico, but it's strawberry mango, which actually is my favorite margarita. Right. So the strawberry mango, like just the reaction. So like if I'm out, the Astros was tough when they won the championship. Shout out to the Stros. I was at I call them family friend house, and when they won it, obviously everybody's drinking.
Yeah.
That was tough. But I'm committed to what I'm doing right now, so I grabbed one of those.
Yeah.
I went to another event. I brought them to the event just so I wouldn't socially grab something that I don't need to grab.
Yeah.
So look for a replacement that is still a healthy option is what I'm getting to for number 3. If there are sodas there, it's totally cool. Like, think about it. If it's a BYOB and you don't drink vodka
Yeah.
and you drink cognac, you're going to bring you cognac,
Yeah.
right? You're not going to drink vodka. It's the same thing. If there's something that you want, if it's a Topo Chico, instead of Dr. Peppers, like put more Topo Chicos in the refrigerator or bring your own. And I think those 3 things will really help somebody give the stiff arm to Dr. Pepper or Coke.
I like that, especially the second one you said, just building on like where you want to be, the consequences as opposed to the reward. Like, is it worth you taking that sip?
Yeah.
Because then you probably going to want another sip the next time, and you just rewarded yourself that first time. So the chances of you rewarding yourself that second time increase, and the chances of you rewarding yourself that third time increase even more. So now you're slowly starting to build a bad habit because you rewarded yourself that first time with, you didn't fight that urge. And then the where you're trying to go, like, is losing, 20 pounds, is that more fulfilling than
Right.
getting back into the bad habits and getting back to where you started? Like, which one is, like, this is the easy route.
Yeah.
That downward slope is easy to hop in a sled and go downhill. It's not easy to climb up that hill. It's just not easy. So
That's real.
that's up to you.
And I would love for people to realize this too. Like when the Astros won, 10 years from now, if my friends and I and Tina, we're all hanging out, and they said, "Hey, remember when the Astros won?" They probably be like, "The kids upstairs, they didn't even know what was going on, but everybody start yelling, so they start yelling, and it was chaotic." We will remember that.
Absolutely.
But nobody's gonna come around and say, "Do y'all remember Chris? He didn't drink that drink that I offered." Nobody's gonna remember that. So I'm really big, Jay, on creating memories, things that you're gonna remember. And sometimes we make decisions based upon things that's not gonna even matter in the future, right? But me being confident, me being healthy, me looking in the mirror, seeing who I want to see, like that's what it's worth.
Yeah.
So again, when it comes to especially like drinks like that, if it's a weakness for you, if it's a place where you don't need to be, just have discipline. Look at the other side.
Love it. And we just talked about drinks, but that also goes for food, y'all.
Yeah.
Both.
I think we got to open the whole can though, because we talked about soda. We got to talk about tequila. We got to talk about cognac, bourbon. So Thanksgiving, man. I've never. Hopefully, I've never painted a picture that Chris is a saint that never had a drink before. I am not a big drinker, but there are sequences where I do have drinks.
Yeah.
Right. I don't like headaches. Like if I get a headache, guys, I have to go get in a room and shut down. Like, I almost rather runny nose or cough before I get a headache.
Yeah.
I don't like headaches. So I think that's one of the main reasons. But I don't drink to a place where I'm like trying to get sloppy. Like that's always been like, oh, I'm gonna be sick in the morning. So that's that. But for alcohol, I can give you the cheat meal or the cheat sheet on how to get through the holiday and still drink alcohol but not load up the calories. Okay, that's quick, right? Just don't mix it. Try to drink it straight.
Yep.
You're not going to drink as many straight Patrons as you would Grand Gold margaritas, right? Exactly. That's the cheat code. But I don't want to sound too much like a nerd today, but the thing that is in alcohol can really trigger a lot of things for us and go in a direction that we don't need to go. It's kind of like, what's a good example? Chai tea lattes or coffee at Starbucks. It's called MS. Is it G? What is it called? I can't think of the term. Is it MSG?
I think MSG, yeah.
So the things that are in there makes it addictive, right? It makes it like nobody – I've never met nobody like this. Y'all might have. I've never heard nobody say, oh, my gosh, I'm just fiending for some water right now. I'm like, I got to go, let me go wait in this line. Let me go order my water on this app and go wait 10 minutes for them to bring it to me, and I can collect points and buy more water. Nobody never says that about water.
Unless
Why?
you're dehydrated.
Yeah, unless you're dehydrated, right? But nobody just like, hey, I want to go get a cup and bring that into that store every time because I won't. Like, nobody does that because the things that are in water is not the same thing that's in coffee,
Correct. Right?
The things that are in coffee and other things that we intake, it has an addictive ingredient inside of it. And that's the same thing with alcohol is what I'm getting to. So even though you may have took a shot or two, there's an ingredient, without being sound like a real nerd, there's an ingredient in there that makes it super addictive. So I don't want anybody to, if you haven't been drinking for 30 days and Thanksgiving comes, you're like, oh, I'm just taking 3 shots. What if that shot made something come and trigger something back into you, and now that addictive itch is back in there? So the headaches you were catching in that first 2-3 days that you haven't been drinking, guess what's going to happen now? That reoccurring headache for the next 3-4 days because you have to now go through that same cycle again. So the encouragement, man, when it comes to alcohol, I'm not saying don't have no drinks, but if you're not drinking, Thanksgiving don't need to be the day that you start drinking again, right? If you're so typically people stop drinking for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's an addiction, right? It's a drug for a lot of people. This is not a pass to say, hey, today's the day to break it. If you haven't had a drink in 2 years, bro or sis, don't start drinking just because it's Thanksgiving.
No.
Right? Like, no, you've been working your butt off. Don't stop today. Another reason why is because it makes them not as productive, right? Alcohol can take over. And instead of waking up at 7 in the morning, you're now sleeping to 9 in the morning, and then you're sluggish, and you don't get going until about 11, and then you got an attitude, and you react. Like, why start that cycle? That's only if you're dealing with that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying if you're not dealing with it, but for those that are dealing with that, Thanksgiving is not the day to wake that up. So my encouragement, if you can hear anything that your boy is saying today, man, this is not a pass to start something you've been working your tail off to fight. Okay, Thanksgiving is a day that we celebrate with loved ones, and it's a day that we want to cherish, but it's not a day to start an addiction or a horrific cycle that you don't want to go through again.
Absolutely. And the facts are the facts. Alcohol is a depressant.
Yeah.
Don't put a depressant in your body, man.
Just to be real.
Don't put a depressant in your body. Like, you're not depressed.
Yeah. Just straight up.
You're trying to go that way, not that way.
Just straight up. And I feel the need to say this. Somebody like, Chris, I don't care what y'all say, I'm going to have my wine. or I'm going to have my cognac. I'm not saying don't have a drink.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying, it's just like when you go out for the parade, they say drink what? Responsible.
Yeah, responsible.
Right?
In moderation.
Right? If somebody is drinking to a place where it's not safe for them, everybody would tell you not to drink. I'm saying the same thing for the person that just has not been drinking.
Yeah.
Like, you've been fighting. This is not the day to start it. But for those that, maybe you're comfortable where you're at.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have your drink or two a week and you're good with it. Red wine's good for the blood. Whatever the philosophy is, if that's you, have your drink. But
Yeah.
I wanted to specify for the person that's fighting the addiction,
Yeah.
not to fold in that day.
There we go.
Cool.
Speaking of audiences.
Yeah, absolutely. Where we at? Are we up to the points now?
I think we can hit them with the tips.
Tips. So our tips, guys. One thing I do want to say before we get to tips.
Okay.
I want to talk a little bit about what I'm personally working on going into. Remember, I said I had something I'm gonna do different this year for Thanksgiving that I've never done. This year, because part of my journey, guys, I've been in October, I told him earlier a month ago, I didn't like the way I was looking and feeling. So I've been, and y'all see this probably in January, Jared and I were vlogging, obviously the programming that we're creating for the new year,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also vlogging my mentality, things that I'm dealing with emotionally as well. And what I'm going to do this year, I'm going to actually track my food for Thanksgiving. I've never done that. I've never really been a big tracker person. I would teach it because I know the success you have with it. But this last month, man, I've really been tracking my food. And, man, it as much as I've studied what I've studied in the last 14 years,
Mhm.
it wasn't enough. Right?
Yeah.
Because when you're in the middle of the mud, you know that tire helps you get out the mud.
Yeah.
But how to turn in a certain angle, you don't know until you actually try to drive out the mud yourself.
Absolutely.
So I'm grateful for the opportunity that I'm having, but I'm curious as I track my food, how much is it going to throw off the rest of my day or week? Because I got to hit, at the end of the day, you got to hit your macros. If
Yeah.
you want to look a certain way, you have to hit that certain number. So typically I'm going to pull my phone out. Hopefully they can bear with me. I'm going to read some numbers out, Jay, that I have to hit on a daily basis. I know my calories is 3,385 calories that I need to eat a day. 220 of them need to be proteins. I'm talking about grams of protein.
Grams, yeah.
220 protein, 345 grams, and carbohydrates, and then fat is 125.
Mm-hmm.
So the protein, I'm probably going to be all right. I
Mhm.
might go a little over, a little less. But the freaking carbs and fats, the beauty of this being 1 day or 2 days, maybe 3 at the max for me, is at the end of the day, I got to weigh in on Thursdays.
Yeah.
So actually, I'll have to weigh in
On Thanksgiving.
on Thanksgiving, now that I think about it. And I've been going the right direction every week.
Mhm.
What if that next week, that day or 2, or if you're me, 3, what happens if I maintain or go the wrong direction? Right? I get to actually make an adjustment.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. So for me, I am going to track my food. And I am going to vlog this. And I am going to let people know what I'm dealing with mentally and emotionally after I do this. But the thing that I'm hoping that it will be able to show maybe is how hard is it to get back into the routine, right?
Yeah.
So there's a bounce back, right? There's a bounce back mentally and emotionally. I might bounce back, which I'm pretty
Yeah.
confident I will. But I've been doing this going into Thanksgiving, right? But what if I started a meal plan the Monday of the week of Thanksgiving, and then I try that? Am I,
That'd be rough.
you know? So I said all that to say, to potentially get your response and also for you guys to process and think, at the end of the day, it still goes into what you're putting into your body
Mhm.
and how you want to fuel it. You know, Jay, you said something earlier about the carbohydrates, right? Eating too much and the way it's going to make your body feel. Well, if you're carbing up, it's going to go into some tips that I have later. But what happens if you move after? Do you have to sit down after you eat all that food? It may make you want to sit down and take
Yeah.
a nap, but what happens if everybody's hanging out inside and outside? You go outside on purpose just to stand around and walk around. Like little things like that can be the thing that gives you the momentum to move forward versus relapsing. So I'm going to track my food for the very first time. It's going to be tedious. I'm not looking forward to it. But at the end of the day, I'm prepping to win. I'm not
Love
trying
it.
to prep to lose.
I love it. I don't know if I have I didn't plan anything for this Thanksgiving. Mainly because my mom, she said she
shouldn't.
going to Cancun, so I said, oh.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so this Thanksgiving, honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So really, it's no different for me. Sisters are going to Tennessee.
He know he got a pass to my house. If he can't find nothing else, he can hang with the old people.
So anyway, yeah. Again, I got to bring you some banana pudding, so I got to stop by anyway. But
I'm for
but yeah, man.
I don't even think I shared it. I think when he gave it to me, I just grabbed a spoon. I don't know, was it big enough for me to share?
Yeah.
Oh,
I brought enough because you had people there.
did anybody else eat it? I think somebody might have
Somebody
tasted
tried
it.
Yeah.
I'm like Bart. But yeah, okay, cool. So we kind of put everything out on the floor,
Yep.
right? Or let's say the table for Thanksgiving. We put it on the table, and now the goal is to dissect and give tips.
Okay.
Jared and I get really creative with the amount of number of tips we want to give, but it's up to you guys to help us keep a track. How many are we doing?
think we can give him 10.
We're going 10. You looking for a pen? Are you going to grade
my
phone?
phone?
All right.
We go type it out because we know we'll forget.
Yeah, we gonna forget. All right, who goes first? Who goes second?
I can go first. Kind of had an idea in my head for a couple.
What you got?
So tip number 1 for you guys. It starts in the morning. I typically don't, but I have had success doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Work out in the morning.
I like it.
Whether that's some people, I think they have a turkey trot. Some people actually like get up
Yeah.
and go do something like that in the morning. You can go for a jog. You can do a 30-minute exercise. You can ride a Peloton, a bike. You can do a tonal workout. You can do anything. I'm throwing names out there. Anything. Get moving in the morning, because as you get those endorphins flowing through your body, it changes the way you kind of perceive things. So if you wake up lazy and you just kind of go on about, I wake up tired, groggy, let me start eating like that, you start making lazy decisions. But if you get up and work out, now you're dedicated to whatever goal it is you have. So if it's losing weight, if it's staying in shape, if it's for us, we just want to maintain a healthy lifestyle, like you're more adept to actually make proper decisions if you already made one to start the day. So
I like that.
That's my first one.
I'm gonna go into point 2, but I'm gonna I might respond with what you create and create kind of something within what you said. Point 2 for me is work out with somebody. So for Thanksgiving, for me, again, it's one of my favorites. It's because of people. If Thanksgiving was about you creating a meal and you go to your own room and eat by yourself, it wouldn't be one of my favorite holidays, to be honest. I love watching the games and talking to family and friends. So for me, to piggy up what Jay said, like if you go to Mean Green, and bring your cousins or whoever that's in town. Bring them with you. If you go to boot camp, go to boot camp with them. If you're going to, you said a couple of different brands, go with them or bring them with you. Or it can be even something simple as a walk.
Yeah.
Like if you have all your family that came in, like do a family walk. Like, hey, family, let's go walk. When everybody, after they eat 3 hours after or whatever, like, hey, let's go on a family walk.
Yeah.
And I think the cool thing for me is just the conversation and the memories.
Yeah.
Because if cousin Bobo come into town and Uncle Lucy, if Aunt Lucy, Chris Green for you, if Aunt Lucy comes into town and you haven't seen them in 3 years and you made them go to Mean Green, I promise 10 years from now, they're going to remember that, right? So create a memory is what I'm getting to. If you're going to be active, you don't have to be active alone. Get somebody to come with you.
Love it, love it, love it. Tip 3 for me, this is kind of a personal.
Uh-oh.
So tell me how you feel about it. Tip for you guys, though. If you do want to limit your intake, let's just say that. You want to limit your intake of the food that you're going to be eating there. Before you go and before you have, whatever meal it is, I know you said you really don't eat prior to because you want to eat everything. But if you're one of those people that don't, I would say, for me personally, I would drink a protein shake.
Yeah.
Because I can't eat as much after I have a protein shake. Like that's already sitting on my stomach and my body. So now when I go and see this big spread, I physically cannot eat all of that because I've already intook something that's good for me.
Yeah.
So that would be a tip for you guys. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a protein shake. Maybe it's something healthy that's sitting in your refrigerator. Heck, My Fit Foods, we have a lot of that. Maybe you have one of those meals sitting in there. Eat something that you know is healthy for you, something that's good for you before you go put yourself in front of the what do we call it? Walking down the aisles on an empty stomach.
Absolutely. I think that's well said. Also, for me, guys, just remember, do as I say, not as I do. Right? That is not healthy for you not to eat all day, right? And I'm going to explain why, and then I'll give you the point. If I don't eat till 5 o'clock, my body is going to go into complete storage mode because it needs the nutrients. I've been moving all day talking. Y'all know I don't shut up. So your body's going to need fuel. And if you're not giving it fuel, it's going to store because it doesn't know the next time that you potentially may feed it. Yeah. So what I'm doing is not right. And, Chris, make mistakes. Point 4, I'm going to piggyback on Jay on each column that he says because there's so many ways that I've done vlogs about blogs and vlogs about weight loss tips specifically. I would like to add in for point 4. What'd be a good one? Weight loss. Point 4. I got a funny one, but I'm not gonna go with the funny one. Point 4. Make your own plate. Point 4. So typically, as a man, on Thanksgiving, a lot of women will make the man's plate. Right? If Jared and Key go somewhere, Key might make Jared plate. If Tina Tina hooked me up on Thanksgiving. If the food is being made, Tina will make a plate for me. If your mom or grandma, it's their love language. Like if my dad made my plate, he loves to cook for people. That's his love language. So he's gonna pile it up, right? This Thanksgiving, make your own plate. And the reason why I say that is because if you have goals, make your plate based upon your goals. Some people say, hey, don't get nothing bigger than your fist, and then put that all on the plate. But for me specifically, especially for guys, or especially for the person that allows people to make their plate, they're going to go over and beyond on the portion because it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's just one day.
All this food. Come on.
Yeah. So point 4, make your own plate.
Love it. Point 5 for me. This is video on, I don't know if it's Instagram. It might be Instagram. Might have been YouTube. I don't know. But it's this chick that says she's talking to some dudes and basically talking about them being soft.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, I don't know why I love this line so much, but she say, "Stand up."
Who jumped?
Who all jumped? So I don't know. If y'all hang out with me, you've heard me say it a lot. If somebody sit down, stand up.
Yeah.
I'll just say stuff like that. But that's point 5 for me. Stand up.
Stand up.
All right. So
I like that, Jay.
You guys, you don't. Again, the carbs, everything kind of weighs on you if you're sitting there. You get tired, you get lazy. Make sure you guys are standing up.
Yeah.
You can stand up and eat, stand up, move around, stand up, talk, stand up, walk around, spend time with family. As you guys are there, just try to find. You see it a lot. I saw at your house last year. Everybody kind of just
absolutely
they sit down and get comfortable. Now we eating, sitting, talking.
Bring me some
Eating, sitting, talking. It's just a cycle. But if you guys are actually getting up and moving around, like, again, your body just kind of remains active. You keep that activity level that we talked about earlier.
Absolutely. And a cool way of getting around is helping.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to eat at somebody's house, get there maybe 30, 40 minutes, ask them, hey, what do you need help? I promise, as the person that hosts every year, you need help. Tina going to send you to go get tables and chairs and tablecloth, and then you got little kids that need to, like, just help around. That's movement, right? Even after and during, you can be the person that's getting the drinks for everybody. Or, hey, do you need an extra? I'm not saying stuff your family, but those type of things are little ways that you can actually move and take advantage of what Jared's saying. So get up. Or how you say it?
Stand up.
Stand up. Stand up. But all right, so that was 5.
Yep.
I'll piggyback on that same subject. Point 6 on movement. This is something that I like to do, and I've never done it, but I've seen it like in movies, and I always thought it was tight. Tight's a word. It means awesome for those that are younger than me. Be a part of, create a festivity or an event. Like I don't know what movie I'm thinking. I don't know why I'm thinking Wedding Crashers. That was a wedding, but I don't know what movie it was. It was like Thanksgiving. The family would go out and play flag touch football.
Yeah.
Like I think that would be so cool to create an event or a particular hour of that day where you participate in something that's active.
Yeah.
So it may be, hey man, we're gonna play a game, pin the donkey. I don't know. It can be going outside and playing whatever, right? It's so many active ways that you can communicate with people. So for men, I would be like, hey, let's go outside, and in my household, the little boys play basketball. Hey, let's go outside and play around the world. So for those that are into like sports, they probably at least come watch or move. It's a way of moving. So playing something else off of movement. For ladies that's like, hey, I don't like sports, it may be something simple as going outside and I don't know, what's a game that girls do? I can't think of no games that girls do.
Hopscotch.
Hopscotch. Taboo is another
Yeah.
one, right? Going outside playing that, because typically you don't play if you're engaged. If you're a professional tabooer, you don't play like this and you're half asleep, right? You're standing up. You're into the game.
Yeah.
So create a game that. What's the one I really like with the little dice? Front. It has where you roll the dice.
LRC.
I can't think. Is that left, right, center?
Center, yeah.
Play that. I
Right.
promise you won't sit down and fall asleep on left, right, center if you got $1 for each one. But
Yeah.
point 6, man, create events, create movements around your household and your gathering, and I think that would be awesome.
To be active. All right, y'all. Keeping track of this. All right. Point 7 is what we're at. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Point 7. I would say. Along the lines of discipline. If you guys have ever seen an old like country western movie, a lot of the not the outlaws, but the laws, the people that run the city, they say, "What? I'm the judge, I'm the
Mhm.
jury, and I'm the executioner." What they mean by that is, I'm everybody. You can't touch me.
I run
So-
this.
Whenever you guys are walking into that Thanksgiving, dinner,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving lunch, whatever it is, make sure that you're in your brain, you are the judge, you're the jury, and you're the executioner, meaning nobody can tell you anything. So kind of set that standard for yourself if you're walking in there saying, I'm not eating banana pudding today.
Mm-hmm.
So when Chris comes and says, hey, bro, I'm about to get just a little bit. You want some?
Yeah.
No. Come on, bro. It's Thanksgiving, bro.
Yeah.
No. Like,
talk.
be your own judge, be your own jury, be your own executioner. Whatever you decide going in there, there's no jury around you that can persuade your decision, and there's nobody that's going to execute it for you, only you. So be sure y'all walk in with that mindset of this is the decision I'm making.
I like that. I love that. I'm gonna use the same point. Dang, I guess you already used it, so I can't make it a point. So I just add into it if that's okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you do that with alcohol. You know what I mean? Don't go in. For those that even drink or don't drink, right? Go in knowing what you're gonna drink. If that's 3 drinks, 3 drinks. You know, if you're in a weight loss journey or muscle gain journey, and you're saying, hey, I do want to have a drink. It's Thanksgiving. If that's 2 or 3 drinks, make that it. Don't drink 2 or 3 and then be like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and double it. Like, own it, like what he said. So that was 7. So my 8th tip, going off of something similar that Jared just said, would be, yeah, I'm gonna say it. But what if they are okay? But if they're that person, well, anywho, well, it might be the person. Yeah. Sorry, I'm weird. Point 8, look and see what the fittest person is doing at the house. Like the fittest person that's your family or friends, see what they're doing. Then make your decision. My sister, Shanna, she gets on Tina a lot of times. We'll go out as a family, and one of our favorite restaurants is Papa Seafood, or Papa's, depending on who's saying it. You know, you want to go there and have some fried shrimp or fish, typically, what people typically want to eat. Tina will be like, can I have a Greek salad, please? She's like, oh, my gosh, you get on my nerves, right? So the reason why I'm saying that is you still might decide to eat the fried shrimp or fish, but look and see what the fittest person in the room is doing, then make your decision. That'd be my point 8.
That's dope. I like that.
Lester Jared.
Huh?
Lester Jared. Because Jared can do whatever he wants.
Bro,
And
whatever.
then you're going to see him eating and his hair comes up, and you're going to see like the sun comes up and then the rain fall.
Maybe in Mexico.
Yeah, right.
All right. Because I don't really have one, let's change up.
What you
Point
got?
9.
Last 2.
Yeah, you lead it.
Oh, I lead it. Point 9, we talked a lot about weight loss, muscle gain. We talked about eating. Point 9, I like this one. Point 9, for your fitness journey. Do something that's going to create a memory. It has nothing to do with a workout, potentially. It has nothing to do with what you're going to eat. Point 9, do something this Thanksgiving that you're going to remember. It may be, I did something so dope, man. At the moment, it made me teary-eyed. On the Northside location, it was our first year there.
Uh-huh.
Might have been our second. I don't think you were there. I don't recall you being there. But it's on the corner, but there is a house to the left side. It's a couple houses to the left side. And it was one guy, he was complaining about the music on Thanksgiving, and it was only 2 classes that morning. And I remember him coming up there, like making a big deal.
Ruckus, yeah.
So Milton called me. I came up there for the second class, and that guy pulled up. And before he can get to the group, I'm there. So I'm like, hey, man, happy Thanksgiving. Y'all got to cut this goddamn music off. I'm so tired of it. I'm trying to get some rest and nah. And he just went off. And I let him talk. And I said, man, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? He had just lost his wife. He was like, man, this is really a hard holiday for me. It's the first time I'm living without my wife, and I don't have nothing for Thanksgiving. So I said, man, I'm so sorry. And I told him about my mother. And he was like, well, can you just turn it down? I said, yes, sir. So I seen where he went and parked. I went home, me and Milton got a plate made for him, and we went back to his house and gave it to him. And he just fell in tears. And, like, I remember for the rest of, like, I'm telling you that now as a memory of Thanksgiving. That's probably one of my best memories that I've ever had. So, point 9, do something that is going to create a memory. So it might be bringing somebody a plate of food or calling somebody that you haven't called in 10 years. Do something that's going to create a memory in your minds.
Dang.
Point 9.
Point 9. Dang, I'm supposed to follow that
up. Point 10.
Point 10.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm saying, man, close it out on that. We go. Oh, man.
That's pretty funny, dog. All right, point 10 will be an answer then. How about that?
All right.
Point 10, what are you looking to do this Thanksgiving that you have never been able to do?
I mean, this is the first Thanksgiving that my, family won't be, together doing stuff. So my sisters are gone. Like I said, my mom said she's gone. So this Thanksgiving, I'm gonna be mobile this Thanksgiving, but I think I'm gonna just spread some love for friends, family, people that because I do work a lot, might not see me very often. Like, I want to make it a point this Thanksgiving to be present. Like, hey, I love y'all. I'm here.
That's it.
So I just that kind of create memories. Like, oh snap, I didn't think you were coming.
That's it. So point 9 was to
create memories.
Point 10, be present.
Be present, yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Be freaking present. I will do that because I literally clocked out for about 2-3 hours in Thanksgiving last year. I really did. Like, I really clocked out. So, but again, something if I can go back in time, I would definitely change.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. Nobody signed up in the first hour anyway. So it was.
Oh gosh.
It wasn't that big of a deal, but especially with Mean Green, whenever something needs to be done, I try to implement to the highest standard. But at that moment, I probably could have waited an hour or two. But man, I really like this episode. I feel like a lot of people laughed at us, but I think that's the beauty of the Mean Green Show, to be able to use us as individuals to put ourselves out and be transparent. And Thanksgiving is designed to love and to be around people that you love. So that's our encouragement for Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. And next week, we'll kind of dig a little bit deeper into that. This week, y'all got nutrition. Next week, you'll get, what does Thanksgiving even mean?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that one because I'm calling names out.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
On this show, we've kind of unofficially agreed not to really drop people names.
Yeah.
So, homework.
There we go. We're going to get sappy next week, more than likely. I'll be honest.
I want to drop. I want to tell. I'm thankful for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm going to pick 5 people that are staff and 5 people that we train.
Okay.
And I want to go in detail why I'm so grateful for them. And these are going to be names that I'm grateful for Jared. Everybody knows that. But I'm not picking Jared because a lot of times y'all hear Jared and see Jared. I want you guys to know some of the things that go on that y'all would never know. I want to explain some things that go on that y'all would never know is going on because they do such a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if things was sour, then you probably would know that somebody messed up. But I want to really kind of just tell them I'm thankful for them, and I want to do that on this platform. So that'll be my homework, to think of 5 people that are team members and members, and we'll continue to obviously tell more depth what the whole episode is when we get there.
Yep.
Cool.
That works. I do the same, but I don't know about 5 staff because that's the whole staff.
Oh, you know, it's a couple individuals that's like,
We're gonna have to collaborate on
I,
that list.
I don't want to say names, but just a couple that I think would be awesome to point out.
Cool.
And hopefully they listen and watch. But that's another story. Nah, hey guys, as we end this year up, you're gonna see a campaign. This is the last campaign we do every single year. We adopt kids from CPS. These kids are waiting to be placed in a foster home. And what we do at Mean Green, we create a link. It's so much easier now than it was 10 years ago. But we created an Amazon link. And this is just not for Mean Green. It can be people you're connected to, fraternities, sororities, churches, organizations. Our goal is when they make their Christmas list, because they're sending it to Christmas. Excuse me, they're sending it to Santa Claus. But they give us the list that they're sending to Santa Claus. And for X amount of years, we've been able to deliver. So I want you guys a part of it if you have the heart to be a part of it.
There we go.
Cool. Well, I think that's it, man.
Good first episode.
Yeah, I think we started with a bang. So,
Yes, sir.
guys, love you. 5-star reviews. Comment down below. Share, tag, everything else that you can do.
Yes, sir.
We're signing out. See you soon.